Hey guys, welcome to I Swear We're Straight, the podcast where we talk about things that happened in the last week, and well, I swear we're straight.
We are.
And we're just going to be talking about things that happened in the last week and trying to have a good time.
There was a lot. It wasn't as much that happened this past week than like the last previous weeks, from what I feel.
Yeah, it wasn't a ton that happened in the news, but we saw some fun developments. Like the new Venom movie came out, and
oh yeah,
I went and saw it yesterday, and dude,
you went and saw it without me.
Look, I'm sorry you had to find out like this. I have another friend. I've been seeing someone else, and...
Get out! Get out!
Wait, please, let me explain.
Get out!
Just know
I'm
that
so hurt.
my feelings for you, they were always real.
Are they? Because we just told everyone that we're straight.
Well, okay, you caught me. I never really liked you. I just stay with you for the tax benefits.
I knew it!
Gotcha! But
hilarious.
Yeah, no, the new
No,
Venom
but how
movie,
was it? I have been meaning to see it, and it looks phenomenal.
It is both amazing and terrible. Like, it is somehow some bizarre combination of amazing and awful. Like, like awful to the point where it's still great. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, that's like the first Venom movie. The first Venom movie was not, like, phenomenal by by any reason. But it was such a fun movie to watch. Tom Hardy and Venom made that movie.
I could totally see it, because I haven't actually seen the first one, but from the second one, I could totally see it, because their chemistry is really, like, Venom is fucking hilarious.
You know they're voiced by the same person, right? Tom Hardy does the voice of Venom.
And the Dumbass Award goes to Charles from I Swear We're Straight. Me?
I knew it.
You knew I could win.
That's my boy! I know him. He's a friend of mine.
I know that guy. You're the Keegan Michael Keaton my Peele to my Jordan Peele winning my Oscar for Get Out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
best friends.
I honestly did not know that, but damn, Tom Hardy can really fucking carry a movie then, because
he's one of my favorite actors. He is so good. He is so phenomenal. But I've also heard that Woody Harrelson just also blows people away.
Oh no, Woody Harrelson, I would argue, is probably the best part of the movie. Like, he bodies this role. Like, he completely kills it. And it actually...
No kidding.
That actually kind of also goes with a joke I wrote.
Oh, yeah, let me hear it.
The new Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage, came out this weekend. And in it, Woody Harrelson plays psychotic murderer Cletus Cassidy. And he does such a good job of portraying a psychotic criminal that he's now been announced as the Republican candidate for the 2024 presidency. And... that's kind of ironic, because Let There Be Carnage is just what Texans think abortion doctors say before every shift.
Wow. Jeez. You came out swinging.
Well, there has to be carnage. But yeah, no, but seriously though, Woody Harrelson does completely make this movie. They're not even together for most of the movie. Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson, they're not even together for most of the movie, but he completely, the scenes that he's in, you're so entertained by how crazy he is and how good he is at being crazy.
He is very good at being crazy, though.
He's effortlessly.
He's very good at it. I'm beyond excited to see that movie.
Yeah,
I want to.
You have to. And I saw it, and I'm not going to lie, dude. If you want to go see it again, I am so down, and I will bring edibles, because...
No, I'm going to go see it by myself. See how it feels. Learn your lesson. Yeah.
But you're going to still take my edible. You're going to show up to my house and be like, give it here. Give me the edible.
Remember the edible I should have had, but you didn't give me?
Oh, fuck.
Because, you didn't invite me. Not that I'm holding that against you, but...
6 months from now, we're going to be hanging out and be like, I just think it's funny how...
You know what I was thinking about the other day? How you abandoned me. You remember that? That was crazy.
You told me you loved me, and I just don't know how you could mean that when you go and see the new Venom movie without me. Just explain that to me, because I'm having trouble wrapping my head around.
See, if this but I can forgive a Venom movie. If you had done this with a Star Wars movie, I probably would be a lot angrier.
That's fair. You know what?
Real.
In that case, you know what? That's so fair. You're allowed to chop off my arm if I do that. Because that's the
I'll be right back.
Wait, no. But seriously, guys, go check out the new Venom movie. It's absolutely alright. You think anybody will notice?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Well, I was saying, earlier, It was kind of a slow week. Plus, I was out of town this weekend. I was up in Richmond, Virginia. I was visiting an old high school friend of mine. We went to see a concert, so I didn't really get to keep up with much. So there was only a handful of stuff that I really wanted to point out and talk about. And one of them was happened today that I found out about was the Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram were completely down. The servers were down.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it until you told me. And I was like, no freaking way. Because
all day I'd been trying to go on Facebook and Instagram, and I was like, why can't you load? And I was genuinely so worried because...
You're such an old person, Dom. You're just that's a self-report. I tried to log on to Facebook. Whoa. Okay, granddad.
I tried using the internets today.
Is this how you Snapchat? Am I doing it right?
Am I doing it right? And it's that angle where they're clearly sitting down and they were just staring at their phone
You're trying to FaceTime me, but you got your thumb over the camera.
Yeah. Or it's in my back pocket and I didn't realize it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Had that happen several times.
Oh,
thanks, Mom. No, but I was so worried when I woke up this morning because I thought something was wrong with my internet. I thought that my internet actually went down.
Well, something is wrong with your internet because if Facebook is gone, then it just became way better.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens when you're not on technology for a whole day, what you actually get done. I cleaned the entire apartment, man.
Oh, fuck. You know what?
Everything. I cleaned the whole apartment. I cleaned the bathroom. I swept the porch. It was great.
God damn. And your Facebook was down, so you wouldn't got vaccinated. It's all just been working out. Everything's been coming up down today.
Oh, man. I'm having a blast. Fuck Facebook.
And as soon as it comes back, I come back and your apartment's a mess. You're sitting there, you're disheveled, and you're just Charles, look at the vaccine.
Twice as long. Hair's down to my shoulders. I'm Rumpelstiltskin in the corner. And I'm like, what's my name?
Oh my god. Your nails are all long and shit. You're Charles, don't get the vaccine. You don't want to get microchipped, do you? Here, take this horse medication. That'll save you from corona.
That'll save you.
If it's real.
Honest to God, it is so relieving to not be connected sometimes for just a day or two to just unplug. It's so freeing. It truly is mentally healthy for you to not be
you know what?
You're a dog kicking dirt.
You know what? I think that's fair if you're a millennial because I'm a Gen Z and whenever the internet's out, I just stare at the ceiling. I legit don't know how to function.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I've come to stare at you again.
Me, a millennial, going, oh right, I can do things that I've been putting off and should not have put off.
Me as a Gen Z, my internet's down. How do I start the oven? Dear God, how do I get water?
How do I start this? And you're poking your pillow.
But without the internet, how will I get my food? Grubhub is my only source of nutrition. Water! Water!
A lot of there's a handful of political things that are going on too.
Yeah. Yeah, the debt ceiling. Is that what you mean? The debt ceiling?
That's one of them. Yeah, the debt ceiling. I know a lot of it. You know what's sad is I heard about it for the first time on TikTok because nobody really was talking about it. The fact that the American government is literally as broke as us, if not more broke. Think of the debt ceiling as the whole thing is that they're on a stalemate of raising it because right now the government hit their budget. And it's they can't pay their bills. It's you or me not being able to pay a credit card bill.
You know what? You're right. And because of that, when they try to get me to pay my taxes next year, I'm just going to tell them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Stop being so lazy.
But that's part of how they were trying to fix it was raising taxes.
Really?
Yes. Because that's more income coming in to be able to do that.
Fuck that. I got an application for McDonald's.
That's the other right. That's the other thing with the Build Back Better program that Biden was introducing, and a lot of things are coming out more about that, where he was coming up with this program about cutting jobs and cutting taxes, but essentially it's all being paid for mostly by changing the tax laws for the ultra wealthy, making it more fair as far as taxes are concerned. And he's getting there's a lot of environmental change that's coming with it too. clean energy that they're investing more into and trying to like boost up, but a lot of like oil companies are fighting back against this because that's clearly their job. That's what they do.
You know, I've always been really confused, and what I found really dumb about like big companies like oil companies and plastic companies, they have so much money and so much resources that they could literally just create the new generation of like clean energy or biodegradable plastics. And
like
not
if they
only
started the move towards it, like by them starting the companies that are using it?
No, I mean like let's say an oil company, like BP, right?
Okay.
Because clean energy is so cheap, they could literally like switching over to creating clean energy would be like pocket change for them. And they would still make so much money off of that.
I don't think it's that cheap. I think that's been like the big thing with like electric cars and stuff.
It's way cheaper than like the means of producing clean energy are actually like way cheaper than the means of like oil and fossil fuels.
Interesting.
Like literally, there's like dozens of ways to create clean energy that are like several times cheaper than oil. Like for example, did you know that salt actually holds heat super well? So
yeah, you ever do that in middle school?
Do what, Dom?
Apparently, this had to have been a stupid white person thing. What we would do, because I knew it could hold heat because it would also have a reaction to salt. And we would put salt on our hands.
Oh, and
you
burn
had
your
the
hands with
chance
ice?
by putting the ice, and whoever could hold on the longest won. It was just fucking stupid.
You know what? I think
but like I knew it held the heat really well because of the dumb shit we did as kids.
You know,
by we, I
what
mean,
you said
my white friends.
makes me violently angry because that has nothing to do with heat. That has everything to do with the chemistry of the ice and the salt.
But it holds heat.
No,
the heat is produced and the ice is holding it.
It's not heat you're feeling. You're just creating acid.
Oh.
Literally, okay, so what Dom is referring to is a childhood game where people take salt, put it on their hands, and then take an ice cube and put it on that salt. What you're doing is you're actually creating acid, which is why I never did it as a child, because the first time I heard about it was my teacher saying, don't do this.
Nope.
You will burn your hand with
We've been doing it for like a whole month before our chemistry teacher was like, this is why you shouldn't do this. And I clearly didn't pay enough attention because I didn't know that that's what was happening. I thought it was retaining heat.
And that's what white privilege is, because...
And then, that's not white privilege. That's why I became a theater major and not a chemist.
Salt actually does hold heat really well.
Okay.
What salt holds heat really well, and a way that you can create energy is by taking an array of mirrors and having them point at a singular point, and like a tower or something where a vat of salt is waiting.
Okay.
And the light from the sun heats said vat and creates molten salt. Molten salt can hold heat for several hours without losing much of that energy. And you take that molten salt and you can dunk it in water to create steam, which is how you get electricity.
Right, steam power.
Yeah, but we actually create electricity using steam now, but we actually burn things to create that steam. But you could use salt, which is not only environmentally friendly because it's not producing any greenhouse gases.
Probably easier to get.
No, it is. It's easy to get. It doesn't create greenhouse gases, and it's reusable.
Oh,
you could literally keep doing that to salt over and over again.
Interesting.
And like another way, you can actually take particles from discarded food waste, and you put that in resin, which is you could get at the dollar store or the Home Depot. You could get that, and you suspend it in resin, and that works as a much more effective solar panel because it's not just collecting sunlight; it's actually collecting UV light. So it even collects light when there's no sun out.
So then, but then let me ask this before we continue: why then do you think that these big oil companies, and even coal probably, like any fossil fuel related company, isn't making the transition, even though it's cheaper, it's probably more profitable, and quite frankly, it's kind of where we have to go, because oil and coal will be used up eventually. Like fossil fuels are a finite resource.
My guess why they don't do that is my same reasoning for why people fight against affordable healthcare for all. Because they do not care. Because all they care about is making their money. The people that run these businesses, even though the numbers would totally be in their favor for switching over, they do not care. They want unending economic growth, and it's honestly, frankly, disgusting that they're sacrificing our planet for these profits. To be honest.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny that we actually mentioned oil, because that actually has to do with the next story that I wanted to talk about.
By all means.
So in Britain, they actually are having a huge gas shortage right now. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's insane how bad it is. Literally 2 out of every 3 gas stations in Britain have ran out of gas.
Huh. Remember when we were going through that?
We only had that for like a day or two. Like, it's bad over there. Like, and you know why they're out of gas? Racism.
You're gonna have to explain that one. But even as a white man, I don't get it. How racism isn't part of that.
No, but it is.
I was guessing it's because it's really hard because there's so much water between Britain and everywhere that produces oil.
And black people can't swim to the shore of Britain. Is that where you're getting at?
It's not funny when you say it. It's funny when I poke fun at it. The irony's the funny part.
Okay, Grand Wizard. No, it's not. No, it has nothing to do with the distance. Because of Brexit and people being like, fuck foreigners.
Brexit happened a while ago.
Yeah, but this is a consequence of Brexit.
No shit.
No, so...
I'm so excited, because I didn't know Brexit had any, like, real consequences just yet.
Brexit has tons of consequences.
I still feel it was a stupid idea.
It is such a dumb idea fueled by xenophobia, but... Here's the thing: Britain is running out of gas because all the people that drove their gas were foreigners. So they got all these laws when they did Brexit that make it either harder for foreigners to get visas, or harder for them to get work visas, or something along those lines.
Unbelievable because of how hard it is to get a visa anyway.
But in the EU, they don't have borders. You can just go from country to country. But because of Brexit, and they left the EU, now people can't just come over there, as they want. And they need visas like America.
Yeah.
But because foreigners were doing so much of their trucking, now that they don't have the foreigners, they don't have the trucks to get their gas. So racism has now ruined a lot of the life in Britain.
Do you think that they can recover from this?
I mean, yeah, they'll probably get it together eventually. They'll probably get somebody to get their gas to where they gotta go. But let's just, isn't that so freaking funny? Like, you guys were so worried about, foreigners ruining your place, that you guys ruined your place without the foreigners.
Well, you know what I've always found? The fact that America itself is, literally a melting pot. Like, the whole purpose of America was different ethnicities were supposed to come together for a better life. And
maybe some iteration of
it was supposed to
the American idea.
No, I truly believe that it was supposed to. Like, why do you think people still to this day still try and come to this country?
Because we have really good PR.
Yeah.
Diversity actually improves the places that diversity is in. There was a study done where I think they took an army unit or something like that, and they had people that came from different backgrounds and stuff, and they all came together. And for the first few days, it was kind of rocky, but then after that, they actually became a much more effective unit than a typical unit that had more homogenous roots.
Yeah.
And that's partly why I think it's so dumb that Britain is so xenophobic. They're the progenitor. They're definitely the root of the world's a lot of the world's problems, if we're being honest. England. Yeah, Britain is definitely the progenitor of a lot of the world's problems when it comes to xenophobia, racism, homophobia, a lot of that. They are a big part of that. Elitism, that's what I was going to say. Elitism also. They're a big part of that problem.
I would always say imperialism was a big issue.
Yep.
And England was a big proponent, but so was America.
Yeah, but that came from their English roots, I would say.
Hands down.
England is such a big part of that issue, but it's they still haven't learned their lesson. They've just started ignoring it.
The whole gas shortage and Brexit and the whole racism thing and all that junk. What are your other thoughts about that?
So I actually wrote a joke about it.
Oh, beautiful. What's the best way other than humor?
Oh, my God.
Humor's the best way to cope.
Britain is experiencing an unprecedented gas shortage. 2 out of every 3 gas stations in Britain have run out of gas. And because gas is essentially just million-year-old dinosaur fossils, they've actually put the queen under protective custody.
That's actually really funny. That was pretty good. That was actually really good. I actually laughed at that one. That was pretty good.
Oh, fuck you.
I don't mean that way. You have to understand, as like someone who has done comedy before, like if I laugh out loud at something, it's because I'm not analyzing it. I just genuinely find it funny. Joke. Like when I'm like, oh, that's a very funny joke because of this, this, and this. Like I still find it funny, but like I don't laugh out loud at certain things anymore. Yeah, that one got me. That was pretty good.
Amazon just announced its new robot Astro. Have you heard about it?
No, I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
So Astro is a new robot that Amazon has put out recently, and it's essentially like a tablet on wheels. And what it does is it follows you around. It can carry your drink for you. If you ask it to go find somebody in the house, like, go find Dad, it'll go find that person.
So it's R2-D2.
Yeah. It's like...
So it's an Amazon version of an astromech droid.
Wow. Yes, it is. It's an Amazon version of R2-D2 named Astro. And it's... But
that's
here's the thing.
Awesome.
I think it's kind of useless because... It just does things I literally can do with my phone, and you might think it actually is way less useful when I tell you the price tag.
Oh, God. How much is it?
$1,000.
Really?
Yes.
It's like as much as a smartphone.
Not my smartphone.
I got a really good deal on it.
I only pay like $300, $400 for my iPhones, so.
I pay like $150, but like I also knew a guy that worked at the Apple Store.
I actually wrote a joke about Astro.
Okay.
So this week, Amazon announced its new Astro robot. It's a robot that follows you around, and it holds your drink for you, and that's about it. And it costs the low price of $1,000, which has led Apple to sue Amazon because it actually holds the patent for useless shit that you don't need, but everyone else is going to buy for Christmas anyway.
It's true.
That was
specifically Christmas. I can justify it because it's the holidays. All I can think about was Astro Boy.
Yeah,
I wonder when they're going to make a little child.
A child that follows you around.
That just follows you around, takes your grocery list.
It flies.
That'd be fucking dope.
No, I'd pay $1,000 for a child.
If it flew, like I would literally. There's actually.
You didn't catch what I did. I said I'd pay $1,000 for a child. Full stop. And then it just stared at you.
Oh, you're lowballing. Here's a blank check.
Fuck! Fuck! Is that how your parents adopted you?
My dad likes to remind me how much that check was. So, yeah. That's bullshit that adoption is that expensive, first of all. But it's also bullshit that I, as the adopted child, had no say in any of it. Comes down on me for how expensive it was.
Hey, man.
I didn't ask to be born.
You're like in the.
What do you want from me?
You're like in the adoption agency. They're like, well, this child costs like $20,000. You're like, hey, man, I just want a family. You can sell me for like 2 pieces of bubble gum and a cigarette. I want parents.
I don't care. Just please, for the love of God, someone give me a meal.
Home.
Someone just give me a fucking cardboard box, a stale piece of bread. That's all I'm asking. I feel like that's pretty negotiable.
Fuck.
I'm not the dick in this scenario. Pointing that out. I'm surprised my parents. I'm like Oliver from Oliver and Company, where I was like the cutest one, but somehow was the last one picked out of that stupid fucking box.
You got adopted, so I feel like that works out.
Yeah, at a fucking cost apparently.
Hey, just think you were actually just priceless. They brought the price down.
Not according to my dad.
Oh, fuck!
There's definitely a price on it, and
It was not worth it.
Was apparently not worth it.
Fuck, he's like the only reason that he the only reason he got to see you graduate from high school is because he just couldn't find that damn receipt.
Keep your receipts, kids.
Fuck.
You never know when you're going to need
them. That's actually a really dark joke. So this story is probably the most important story of the week in terms of the popular culture. Britney Spears has gotten out of her 13-year conservatorship.
Did she finally?
Yeah, they freed Britney. So
finally.
Yeah, they finally freed Britney.
You know what's fucked up is how long that fucking took.
Yeah. It has been going for a while.
I feel so bad for that woman because there's no reason she had to go through all that.
I mean, well, okay, to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
I wouldn't say that there was no reason, right? Because I was a child when Britney was at like the height of her fame, right?
But she was also a child.
But she went through a lot. Like, remember when she had like her public mental break?
Oh, 2007?
Like, yeah, like remember she like shaved her head or something like that?
I think it was 2007. Say in the comments if I'm wrong. It might be 2008. I don't know. All I remember is that like she went off the deep end and she cut her hair because she was like famous for like her hair was like a very famous part of her. It was part of her identity, and she like lost it and she just had somebody shave it all off or something.
Like that. Okay, I didn't know that. And knowing that context makes it make a bit more sense, but still, she went through a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
a lot.
The public was on her ass constantly, and you know, because of those mental breaks and whatnot, I understand why actions were taken at first, right? But to the extent that they were taken was wrong. You know what I mean?
I feel like part of it was agreed. Like, they knew action needed to be taken, but then they ended up stepping over what they needed to.
Probably.
Her dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Her dad is. That's not okay to ever do to your child.
Yeah.
What he did.
Yeah.
No. Never.
It's really sad, the situation that's happened, but hopefully now she can begin to move on with her life and have like some semblance of normalcy.
I still believe that like if she sticks with music, Britney Spears will still be a major icon in the music industry.
That's fair.
If she continues to move on, it's her choice. She does what she needs to do. But if she stays with it, people will still know the name Britney Spears, and like whatever song she comes up with is probably gonna rocket to #1.
You know what? That's fair. And speaking,
I fully believe that.
That's fair. And
I know for a fact I will listen to it.
Well, to be fair,
so here's the
God damn it! That's fair. And speaking of things that happened to celebrities that should have happened a long time ago, R. Kelly was finally convicted.
He was finally convicted, and he was guilty on all charges.
For fuck's sake, it has been
Holy
a long
shit.
time. Probably even longer than the Free Britney thing, if I'm not mistaken.
There was a major push to get his music off of all streaming services.
Really?
Yes. Like, there's been a major push from just the general public to take his music off of Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, you name it.
Wow.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he shouldn't see a cent from it. Like, I can still stream I Believe I Can Fly, but I don't think he should be able to make profit off of it anymore.
Me, personally, I'm kind of split. Because,
okay. Like,
here's the thing.
You can see both sides.
For most cases, right? Like, for most cases of, like, problematic celebrities, I feel like it is possible to separate the art from the artist, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, with most celebrities that make a mistake, there is this semblance of, hey, I made a mistake, I'm trying to be better for it. Hell, I made tons of mistakes, and maybe one day I'll see consequences for it, maybe I won't. But regardless of that...
There's a difference between making mistakes and doing what R. Kelly did.
No, that's what
I can see where this is going. Like, there's a difference. There's a clear difference.
There's a difference between me pissing in somebody's cereal and what R. Kelly did.
I don't know what his thing was with streaming in general.
Okay, that was... Alright, that was a good one.
That was derived from a Michael Che joke. That is not an original...
Wow, is this another white man?
It was not. It was not. It wasn't supposed to be like taken for like the streaming services.
Yeah, no,
like him literally streaming. Like I thought he was just like pissed on human beings too.
He did a lot, and it's mostly with underage people. That's the problem. Like, but
what is it with the underage? Why is that a recurring theme?
You know,
have you ever thought about that?
I'm not sure, but when we get famous, you can tell me all about it when you're on trial.
Wow.
But
I'm slightly offended by that.
Out of all the jokes I've made.
That was a personal attack. That was like, you're definitely going to be a pedophile when you're famous.
Well,
first of all, thanks for saying I'm going to
come out.
Why would it be... Why? Why? Why would it come out? Why would you even suggest that?
Because you're not great at keeping secrets. I'm sorry. All right, that's the last one. All right, but on a serious...
Oh my god!
That's the last one. But on a serious note...
Oh my god.
As a person who has some level of being in the public eye, I can understand making a mistake. I've made tons of mistakes, and I feel like as people, we make tons of mistakes. Everybody, I feel like, has made a mistake that can be considered cancelable, right?
Everybody.
And
everybody.
The difference is
every man or woman
or they everybody
human being has made some sort of mistake
that is considered cancelable.
Yeah,
and I feel like
thank you for correcting me on that.
No, it's all good, dude. And I feel like the important part is growing as a person, changing. You know, obviously there are people who made a mistake and they apologize, but obviously they didn't change. Mm-hmm. Like the whole Only Jay situation, or I'm just going to say as far as like a few years ago, Chris Brown, when he apologized about the Rihanna thing, but he still kept doing violent stuff. And you know what I mean? Like there's those situations where they clearly haven't shown, and I'm specifically talking about that period because I don't know what's going on with Chris Brown now, but those...
I genuinely don't care.
Yeah, I don't
know
really
Run
care
It,
about Chris
and
Brown
I'm
anymore.
cool with it.
But...
I like that song.
Shut up.
I like that song. It reminds me of middle school. It reminds me of my childhood.
Every middle school dance, but...
Oh my god, every single one. And they were like, oh, we're going to play some rock music now. And you were like, I bet it's I Don't Stop Believing from Journey. And every single fucking time.
Every time. Either that or it's the Cha-Cha Slide. But here's the thing. When it comes to those situations where...
Shut
up. When it comes
I wonder
to
what happened with the first four.
They got shot.
I want to hear about the first four Mambos. For them to get to number 5.
I think that's probably somewhere in the... Those 4 Mambos are probably somewhere in the Indiana Jones warehouse. Like, just hidden away.
Men.
Top men working on it. But... when it comes to those kinds of situations where they don't change, and in extreme cases like the R. Kelly thing where they're monsters, we cannot separate the art from the artist. I feel like...
You can't cancel art.
But no, I feel like you cannot...
You shouldn't cancel art. I'm a firm believer of that. You should not cancel art.
I feel like I agree in certain circumstances. Because again, I can't listen to I Can't Believe I Can Fly without feeling bad about it. Like I cannot listen to it without not thinking about it because it's so extreme. You know what I mean? It's come to that point.
I mean, think of it as like, do people stop listening to Michael Jackson now?
To be fair, right? I don't listen to as much Michael Jackson now. Mm-hmm. And part of it is because of the controversy. And, part of it's also just because new music comes out. But with Michael Jackson, those things were never really, like, fully proven, right? Like, most people haven't come to a consensus on whether or not it happened.
I fully believe they didn't, but that's just me.
But, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, most people haven't come to a consensus on whether or not it's happened. In cases like R. Kelly, that's completely different because we all know, not only has it happened, but it's happened so much.
It's also been a really big thing. Like, the media has put a lot of attention on it.
And rightfully so, I feel.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because R. Kelly's a
monster.
It's
assault.
R. Kelly's a monster.
It is textbook definition of everything he did wrong. Assault, you name it. There's more than just assault, but that's like the big
that's
thing
the thing most people think about first. Like,
yeah, there's probably emotional abuse in there too.
Oh, it's definitely, he brainwashed a lot of those people.
Yeah, he did.
Like, the R. Kelly thing is just so huge, you know what I mean? Like, it's such an extreme case, you know what I mean? And it sours anything he might have done because he never changed. He never changed.
Because he never changed.
And not only that, but that's one of those things that you can't really come back from, or you can't come back from if you repeatedly do it. You know what I mean?
Right. I would agree with that. I'm just glad that it came to the conclusion that it needed to.
I feel like not only should he serve jail time, but he needs to pay up. Like, his money needs to, like, be redistributed to a lot of the victims of the families, or if they're alive, or the victims. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be some serious material change from this.
What do they call it? Reparations?
Yeah, like a reparation. Like, really, like, it needs to happen. And I think that's where we should probably go ahead and end today's show.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
Yeah.
There was more that happened this week. There were less that happened this week, but there was more to talk about with it.
We want to thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any comments or thoughts or anything about the things we talked about today, go ahead.
If there's anything particular that happens next week that you really want to hear about and hear our thoughts on, leave it in the comments. Subscribe, let us know. We'll talk about it. I have no problem doing that. We'll research it and do everything we can about it. If there's anything in general, just give us a holler.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we will see you next time. I am Charles, and
I'm Dom,
and I swear we're straight. Bye.